So it's been established that the definition of fair use has a rather broad scope, but it cuts both ways, unfortunately. Several content creators have had strikes placed against their channel where it has been claimed that they have used copyrighted material without permission. But in some of these cases, they haven't used any copyrighted material at all, or they haven't used the copyrighted material that is being claimed. So some channels are having these false strikes placed against them and made to seem like the bad guys, while the people making these false copyright claims can get away scot-free. They can basically steal other people's money for no particular reason and get away with it. But when it comes to YouTube videos, it's one thing to take the person's video and post it on the channel as a re-upload. It's another to take a person's video and make a reaction to it. But what about when you actually take someone's words or ideas, redo them, and make it seem like it is your own original content? Is it transformative? Is it plagiarism? Or is it just bullshit on the internet? So the YouTube channel I Hate Everything has had a lot of drama recently. So I Hate Everything made a video about internet memes, in particular one about which we will call Blimey Brian for sake of not getting a copyright strike. So in the video he featured Blimey Brian quite prominently, and to no one's surprise, he got a copyright strike against the video because of it. The thing is, the copyright strike wasn't actually from the people behind Blimey Brian, it was from another company entirely. A company with the name Merlin CD Ltd. And it turns out that is what this particular company does. It goes around YouTube manually putting on copyright strikes against other people's content where it's perceived to be a copyright infringement. So in I Hate Everything's case, you could argue the toss of whether or not it was fair use and transformative, because he was doing both a review, a reaction, and a parody of Blimey Brian. But in a follow-up video, he made a point of talking about how these companies do make a lot of false copyright strikes, and there's no recourse for these false claims. So these companies can put a copyright strike on your video for whatever reason they can think of, and you will lose the revenue from that video up until the strike is resolved, but nothing gets done if it's proved to be a false claim, and you still lose the income. The first several days of a video being online can be the most crucial. That's where you can accumulate the most views, particularly if it is with a topic that is current and hot on the internet at that moment. So these companies can go around taking a scattershot approach to YouTube and trying to find the most tenuous links to a particular copyrighted material. And they would claim to be doing this for the protection of the copyright of the original content creators. Fair enough. But what if the original content creators aren't actually involved with your company? Is it just a mistake, or is it blatant revenue stealing? Everyone would agree that YouTube's copyright systems in place are substantially broken, but it shouldn't be getting to a point where original content creators are losing money on false claims. There should be due recourse towards the people that made the false claim in the first place, and there should be compensation for the original content creator. For some videos, time is important, so it can be a huge blow to a YouTuber's income stream if they upload a video dealing with some particular hot topic, only to have it copyright spiked, and they lose all the revenue from that crucial first 24 hours, 48 hours, first week, first month, or whatever, until the copyright strike is resolved. And it's very skewed. The blame is put squarely on the person who has had the copyright strike made against them. And if there's no recourse against the people who are making these false claims, well, hey, they can just keep on doing them. So YouTubers Channel Awesome, home of the Nostalgia Critic, started the WTFU campaign, Where's the Fair Use? They had a false copyright strike claim made against their channel, which took nearly a month to resolve. They couldn't monetize their videos, nor could they upload videos that were longer than 15 minutes. And this has happened to several other YouTubers as well. Grade A Under A, in the second part of his breakdown of the terms and conditions of fair use and copyright in YouTube, launched the Make YouTube Great Again hashtag campaign. And it seems to have worked. It was certainly enough to draw the attention of the CEO of YouTube. So there is a lot of work ahead. Things need to be changed. Algorithms need to be fixed to stop the automatic copyright strikes that are incorrect. But something also needs to be done to fix the systems in place which favour the people who make the copyright strikes and make them falsely. Knowingly making false copyright strikes is theft. You are taking rightful revenue away from a YouTube creator, and they have no way of getting it back, save taking you to court. And I don't think anyone's prepared to do that, or at least not prepared to do that yet. It's much worse on platforms like Facebook, where you see several pages that compile all these videos together, often putting little bars at the top or bottom saying share and like, or they put some words relating to the video in some ways, like ha ha ha, funny, or whatever. But usually they don't credit the source where they got the video from, they just reap the views and the revenue from the ads. So these companies are supposedly making third-party claims and copyright strikes on behalf of supposed other YouTube content creators. A lot of the time, though, these prove to be false, in the case that they're either not representing the content creator that they're making the claim for, or the content that they're claiming doesn't actually feature in the video that the strike or the claim was made against. So they can make these claims against the videos and receive the income from the videos up until the claim is revoked. And the original content creator receives none of that lost revenue back. That is a fundamentally flawed system. And much like trying to get hold of people at YouTube, it can be damn near impossible to try and get hold of the people from these companies concerned. There is no protection for the content creator who is having a strike made against them. They are basically guilty until proven innocent. So what about plagiarism? And what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is the wrongful appropriation and stealing and publication of another author's language, thoughts, ideas or expressions, and the representation of them as one's own original work. Now, as it says here, the idea remains problematic with unclear definitions and unclear rules. In his memes video, I Hate Everything made a parody of a meme, which ironically enough ended up becoming a meme itself, of Der Plant. And in the video where he was talking about how he was hating the fact that he had inadvertently created a meme himself, he pointed out that some of his ideas had been ripped off. On Shane Dawson's channel there's a video series called WTF News. Now it's not hosted by Shane, instead it's hosted by a guy who looks like the bastard love child of the Smosh guys. And in one of his most recent videos there's a section which pretty much word for word copies what I Hate Everything said. The only major difference that he changes the Der Plant to a wow tree. So if re-uploading a video is pretty much considered theft, then shouldn't someone taking someone's material pretty much word for word and reusing it also be classed as theft? When it comes to material, YouTube is like a big sausage grinder. Loads and loads and loads of crap gets fed into it every single day, and it churns out sausage after sausage after sausage after sausage. And it's ravenous. It eats up loads and loads of material every single day. So it's all the more important that people receive credit for their original ideas. Back in the days of vaudeville, a lot of people made their living on a particular turn that they had. They might only have 5 or 10 minutes of material, but that was their 5 or 10 minutes. They would go around from town to town doing their 5 to 10 minutes, and that was their living. So it would be absolutely heinous if someone else started doing their material and claiming it as their own. It would cost the first performers their livelihood. And if anyone was caught stealing material, it was a big no-no, and a lot of times they were ostracised. Of course, with the rise of radio and television and movies, 5 or 10 minutes of material wouldn't last you a lifetime. You had to keep creating more and more. Otherwise, it would get used up and you would be lost in the shuffle. And every second of every day, hours upon hours upon hours of footage is uploaded to YouTube. Some videos are just puff pieces, but others take a lot of work. So it's all the more galling when someone takes your words verbatim and uses them trying to pass them off as their own. If you were taking a test in school and you copied material directly from an encyclopedia, remember those kids? Or from Wikipedia or from wherever, you would get marked down, or you would fail the test because of plagiarism. If you took someone else's manuscript to a publisher and claimed it as your own, you could probably get sued. And comedy is one of the hardest mediums to write for. It's very easy to fail and very hard to succeed. And yes, there are a lot of jokes that are along similar lines, and it is conceivable that sometimes two comedians or comic writers will come up with very similar sounding material. But when something is blatantly word for word, that is wrong. If you are taking someone else's idea and claiming it as your own, effectively that's stealing. Like fair use, plagiarism is a bit of a nebulous term. You would think it would be to do with stealing someone else's material, but there have been some strange legal cases. The lead singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival, John Fogerty, was once sued for plagiarism of himself by his record label, which meant that for several years he couldn't actually produce any of his own music, for fear of him being accused of copying himself. Content creators are getting sick of having their videos ripped off under the guise of fair use, while other creators are getting copyright strikes made against their content when they haven't used anything that's copyrighted at all. Thanks to a groundswell of support for the WTFU and Make YouTube Great Again campaigns, though, the higher-ups in YouTube are aware of what's happening. Whether or not, of course, they'll actually do something about it is another question. Hopefully they will, and there'll be a bit less bullshit on the internet. I'm Kirk, thanks for watching, and I'll speak with you again in the next video. So you have these Is every cunt and his dog driving past at the moment?